Hi friends, it's Kelly. Thanks for coming by. I'm going to show you how I use Paige's Rounded Squares background to make the inspirations I shared at Paige's website today. And what you want to do first is purchase the Rounded Square cut file in the Silhouette store. And this is the cut file after I've done some work to it. But on the right you see Paige's cut file, and on the left on the mat you see the items that I've created with it. So let's open the Rounded Squares cut file and center it on a new mat, and we're going to release the compound path and then ungroup it so that we can work with each item individually. So that was the background I erased, and what I want to do is go through the whole cut file and erase everything except for the crosses. And it doesn't take very long. It maybe took me 3 minutes in total, and I'm not going to make you sit through the whole thing, but this is what you end up with. Now, if you don't have the stipple tool as part of your toolbox in the Silhouette Design Studio, you can replace your blade with a pencil and it'll draw the crosses for you, and you could make your holes for stitching. You could also save that in your library, and I would, because I've done it a couple times now. It would have been easier to save it. But if you do have the stipple tool, it's the dotted star. Click on stipple, move the toggle all the way to the right, and it changes your cut file into a bunch of little dots. And that's no longer a cut file, but we are going to trace it. So using your trace tool, highlight the cut file that you created and click trace, and there you go. You have holes now that your silhouette can make, and then you can stitch it. I plan to stitch on paper 12. It looks so pretty. I went tone on tone, and it took me about 2 days, maybe a bit longer than a day and a half. And then I recut the Rounded Squares background out of white AC cardstock and laid it on top of my stitching. So if you want to back that cut file, I'll show you a quick way to do that as well. So that's how I made my second layout. I backed the cut file with paper 18 and laid my paper backed cut file over another piece of white AC cardstock. So open the cut file, release the compound path, and ungroup it. Then remove the outer outline, the background so to speak, and start erasing everything except for the squares that back the crosses. So you've got everything else deleted on the page, and group together what you have left and use your offset feature at 0.085, and then you can drag away the smallest squares and you'll be left with a file that you can use to cut paper 18 and paperback the cut file. And once I had it paperbacked, I laid it over white AC cardstock ready for embellishing. So thanks so much for joining me for this tutorial. If you have any questions at all, please leave them in comments. Thanks, see you again soon. Bye-bye.